Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for Star Wars Most Wanted. This is a young adult novel written by Ray Carson, who has written some short stories in Star Wars before, but this is her first full-fledged novel in the universe. So before I get into this novel, if you haven't seen Solo: A Star Wars Story, you might want to skip this video because even though I won't be spoiling the book itself, there will be the beginnings of Han Solo mentioned in this novel. So if you don't want to know spoilers for the Solo movie, you might not want to read this right away. So let's get into the plot without giving too much away. I want to set up the stage for what this novel is all about. So we have Han Solo and Qi'Ra in their formative years. They are on Corellia. They are stuck there. They have to work for this person named Lady Proxima, who is the leader of the White Worm's crime syndicate. So they work for her because they do not have families, and that's the only way for them to survive. They have to scrounge by doing these little jobs which require them to steal things, do just mischievous things around the streets of Corellia. They live in the slums, and it's just a very, very rough upbringing. And what they are trying to accomplish is get to the leader position in the clan there, and they need to get to the head. And basically get more food if they become the head of the White Worms. And they will be doing missions. And this one particular mission they are both doing, they don't realize that each other is doing the same mission, and they both botch it up really bad. And they become, like the title suggests, most wanted by the crime syndicates. We have the Empire after them. So it's just a very fun, fast-moving adventure that actually puts these characters together and maybe leads into what we see them as in the beginning of Solo: A Star Wars Story. So let's talk about the things that I liked most about this novel. Is first off, the beginnings of Han and Qi'Ra. This is the first novel, this is the first story chronologically that we see Han Solo in the Star Wars universe, and it is bleak. It is very dark. This is very much almost, I got like rumblings of Shadows of the Empire reading this novel, just because they're stuck in this dungeon-esque sewer system in Corellia, and it's just very bleak how they have to actually eat rats and just stuff that's worse than dog food basically to survive. It's hard to actually see Han Solo, our favorite character, living in these conditions, I'll be honest with you. I do like how they managed to write Han Solo these different aspects of his character that actually appear in Solo: A Star Wars Story. So we get to see how he's so proficient at flying speeders. We get to see how Han is so great with talking to Rodians and Hutties and talking to Wookiees in Shiriwook. So there's a lot of explanations to things that if you watch the movie of Solo, you might be like, how is he possible to do that? How is it possible to do that? And the same could be said for Qi'Ra. We get to see how she is such a great coordinator, how she just gets the ball moving, is very good at explaining things and trying to direct action and what goes on, things like that. And I did, of course, like the relationship between Han and Qi'Ra throughout this movie. I really appreciated that this isn't a love story. This is them two just trying to survive. They couldn't be the most opposite type of characters in this kind of universe. I mean, we have Han, who is just so brazen, as we know him in the movies, and he's very optimistic in this one. We haven't gotten to the point where he's very pessimistic. We have gotten to the point where he is just trying anything. He improvises everything, and there's so many moments in this novel that are just so Han Solo to the core, where he's just flying by the seat of his pants and trying anything he can. And the opposite goes for Qi'Ra. Like, she's very cool and calculated, and I think they need both of them to survive, and that's where it comes together. There's certain moments where they have to improvise, but then there's certain moments where they need a plan, and that's where Qi'Ra comes into play. What this book ultimately does is show us the motivations of this character. It challenges the characters, and it does hint at why they might make certain decisions in Solo: A Star Wars Story. So we have Han. Why is he motivated to get off Corellia? Why is he motivated to fly a starship? And then we have Qi'Ra. What is she ultimately trying to do with her life? Finally, the action sequences are just so great. We have so many speeder chases. We have moments of espionage where they are sneaking around doing a heist kind of mission. We have moments where I didn't actually expect these characters to be. So all in all, this is just a fast-moving, fun adventure. There are some things that I didn't like particularly in this novel. First off, they do mention the past of both Qi'Ra and Han. They do tease it, and it never comes to fruition about what their actual origin is for being in the situations where they are with the White Worms. I did also think that some of the lines were a little bit too on the nose, such as the Force being mumbo jumbo, as well as dusting crops, things like that. I also thought that this book could have benefited from a prime antagonist, somebody that was kind of overlooking everything that was going on at the same time. Don't get me wrong, there's lots of crime syndicates, so there's lots of different leaders from them and everything, but it keeps getting shifted around. I think it could have dealt better with a centralized villain. So overall, I would give Star Wars Most Wanted a score of an 8 out of 10. There's a lot to love from this novel. Ray Carson writes a great Han Solo in his youth, to where we can see him transitioning to a more mature adult, but still having plenty of mistakes that he has to deal with. The same could be said with Qi'Ra. Qi'Ra has quickly become one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, period, since Solo, and now this book just solidifies that effect. So this is a solid book. If you are a fan of Solo, A Star Wars Story, definitely check out this book, because it's going to, like I said, enhance the movie for you. And that's what I love about these tie-in books, is if they are good, that is what they do. They are not needed to experience Solo, A Star Wars Story, but they definitely make it better in my opinion. So now let's start the discussion in the comment section below. Tell me, what did you like about Star Wars Most Wanted? Do you plan on reading this book? Let's talk about it. Also, if you like this video, I have plenty of other videos pertaining to Star Wars, as well as Solo, A Star Wars Story, on the channel right now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another Star Wars video. My name is Starrapter, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.